I've been working with Michael for a year or so, and he's really helped in a couple of particular ways. One of those ways has been on sort of that internal game of like overcoming my stubbornness and my unwillingness to change. Michael challenged me a lot on various things, and some of it was quite uncomfortable for me. Sometimes I resisted and pushed back and didn't change, and then figured it out later on, and he was right. Occasionally, I haven't changed still, and I'm still not entirely convinced. But I mean, some of these things have been really worthwhile ways to think about whatever the issue has been. The other thing that's really happened for me with Michael is that he's really helped on the specific skill set of learning how to sell. And what I found is that when I started out, I would either do one or two things. I'd have this inane chit chat and just sort of be vaguely helpful with people, or just go off on tangents and my chit chat would go nowhere, or else I would go straight into a sale and without really understanding the customer. And Michael helped by first of all pointing out when I was doing that, and so I'd recognize it. I start to recognize it, and I can look at my own conversations and say, that's what I'm doing there. I'm missing out the actual rapport or missing out on turning it into a sales conversation. And then he gave me a bunch of scripts, a bunch of sort of like suggestions and really practical tips for how to do this, what to say in specific situations. I find that having those scripts really helps me because then it just gives me something to fall back on, and then I can adapt that as time goes on. But having the script really helped. The other thing that really helped with Michael was actually challenging me to think through who my customer really is, and that's been actually the biggest challenge in my business. Who is the customer? It's still a challenge, to be honest, but at least I'm thinking about this and I'm trying to understand who the customer is and what problem they really have, and why is it that I'm not able to sell to them. And I've been iterating through different problems, different customers, to try to find that, and I'm getting much closer to the goal by challenging my assumptions on what I think is valuable and making sure I'm seeing things from the customer's perspective. So Michael's been really helpful for me. I think that some of his methods will be really helpful for a lot of other people, and I'd recommend working with him.